Straight Good Alexander, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Jay Will, and I'm down to dunk.
They had. There we go.
I'm Isaiah Hartenstein, and I'm down to dunk.
I hope Savior of basketball has won.
Well, the Dortcher Chamber has been going pretty well.
I'm Aaron Wiggins, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Chet Holmgren, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm Mark Dagnall, and I'm down to dunk.
He just does a big smile and
I feel blessed by God to be here down to dunk, be here with you.
I'm Alex Caruso, and I'm down to dunk.
I'm AJ Mitchell, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Isaiah Joe, and I'm down to dunk.
Oh, jeez. Are you going to sing it good enough for me to guess it, or?
Panhandle. Jeez. I'm tweaking.
Name 2 famous Oklahomans.
Myself and Jalen Williams.
Is that a crazy answer?
All my friends call me Bob.
Where's Rachel?
Unique story. He lived a whole life.
Plain.
This is Kason Wallace, and I'm down to dunk.
This is Lou Dort, and I'm down to Dort.
True blood Oklahoma.
That's right. Pretty exciting, if you ask me.
This is J-Dub, world champion J-Dub, and I'm down to dunk. And eat burgers.
Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schlecht. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. Before I get to my good friend Alex Speers, I want to tell you about 2 other good friends of mine, Aaron and Drew Reese at Shelter Insurance. I saw Aaron at the game last night, and his kids, and they may or may not be in the latest video that I posted. Call Aaron, 405-773-5500. Call Drew, 405-478-7714 today. These are guys that you need to know. You got to have car insurance. You got to have home insurance. You might as well have it with somebody who is awesome. And these guys are great, trustworthy guys that you can trust with valuable assets like a car or home or rental property or a boat. Contact them today. Call or text them. Support the people that support Down to Dunk. With me, as always, on Wednesdays, I almost said Monday. Wednesdays is my good friend Alex Speers. Alex, what's up?
What's up, Andrew?
Thunder beat the Kings.
Woo!
5-0.
Woo!
Feeling good.
Undefeated. Dominant. Would you say this run is as dominant as the 2016 Warriors when they came out hot? Are you expecting this team? What did they go? They win 24 in a row or something?
Something like that.
We're on our way. On our way.
I'll bet you those 2016 Warriors had a little bit better injury luck to start the season than OKC has had.
That is probably true. I will say OKC got very lucky with this schedule. What a great schedule for all of these injuries, because these have been, I don't know if I should say fun. I think the Kings game was fun. Dallas less so, but there
were different kinds of losses, I would say.
They were, but yeah, just looking ahead and seeing that we got Washington and the Pelicans up next. Play the Clippers in Portland next week on a back-to-back. That's going to be really tough.
Mm-hmm.
I already predicted to myself that the Blazers is going to be our first loss.
Oh, the Blazers are the first loss. Wow.
Because it's a second night of a back-to-back. It's on the road. They were in L.A. the night before.
Mm-hmm.
Portland's just annoying to play.
Yeah, they are annoying.
I just feel like it's setting up that way. I would say the Clippers, but they scored 79 points in a game last night. So less worried about them.
There's been a game where they've looked good, and there's been games where they just look hopelessly old. is maybe the way that I would put it. I don't know. We recognize a lot of names is what I would say about that team, and that's about it.
I'm just so annoyed that we had to listen to Bradley Beal. It was just his contract. If you take away the contract, there's still a really good player there. He's barely playing.
Yeah.
He's injured.
We do this thing every summer with the NBA where we just use what I'm coining our basketball imaginations, and we just say stuff. People just say stuff. They just imagine what it could be like, and they just say stuff. And then you just really believe that that's how it's going to be. You truly believe this is the way it's going to go. And Orlando is one of those. Basketball imagination teams where it's just
that one's really messing with me.
It's not great. The Clippers are another basketball imagination team. Yeah, not great for.
I feel like Dallas was a basketball imagination team
Dallas
for a
is
lot of people.
100%. They stink. That team stinks.
This thing's so bad, man.
No one had to use any sort of imagination. Everybody was operating within reality for the Sacramento Kings, though, who played well through most of this game last night. Those had to have been their best game that they played. I thought they actually played well together. I thought that they played a pretty good zone defense against the Thunder, and the Thunder, who are currently shooting worst in the league from three, really had that on full display. Speaking of like stuck in the mud with the Clippers, the Thunder are playing so slow right now. Like they're playing more half court basketball like by a large margin than they did last year. And I asked Mark about it and I asked Shea about it. And Mark was kind of like, huh. He's like, well, some of it's probably the overtimes and these close games that we're playing, which kind of lend itself to slower basketball. But he's like, I also think that there were opportunities for us to play faster that we did not. And so he's like, I got to dig into it more. But they are just playing slower. And some of it too is just personnel. Like not having J-Dub out there is such a huge deal. And the fact that they are 5-0 today, we will probably not talk about or remember this stretch of basketball when we get to game 68. We're not going to remember this, but it's great. It like gives great cushion to the team that they can just win these games. Like you're supposed to win all of these games. Like maybe say for the Rockets game, I don't know if you're supposed to win it, but the rest of these you're supposed to win, and they have, and you have to give them a ton of credit. Even on the second night of a back-to-back, and you're playing the Kings, which is a gift, but the Kings showed up like that. The Kings played well. They shot the ball pretty well, and they had the Thunder on their heels for most of the night.
Yeah, I honestly felt bad for the Kings because they did not come across as a team that is checked out.
No.
They are pretty engaged, and they have a lot of guys on their team. I mean, just like there were moments where, it was like Schroeder, Sabonis, Russ on the court. Like all those guys are going all out.
All these
like,
former Thunder players just going all out.
That is true.
Just playing for the crowd,
Draft people, not players. Not what is it? Not jersey. Okay. Yeah, but like those guys play really hard. I thought like DeRozan and Levine, I mean, for all their flaws, like they're really good basketball players.
Yeah.
And I felt kind of bad for them at the end of the game because their season has kind of been like this.
Yeah.
I mean, Doug Christie talked about it after the game. He was like, we could very easily be 4-0, which like you can. Everyone kind of says that when they're 1-3, but like they should have beaten Phoenix. They lost by 4 points on the road. They did beat Utah. They should have beaten the Lakers, who did not have Luka and LeBron. That was an awful loss. And then last night, it was there for them.
Yeah,
but
dude, that's a quote of somebody who's trying to convince somebody else that they need to have this job. Yeah, we could be 4-0.
It could. I mean, theoretically, anything could have happened.
Anything.
But yeah, I mean, OKC doesn't have Chet. I mean, that was the big one in this game. That was new that Chet wasn't there.
Yeah. I mean, there was an obvious absence there from Chet.
Yeah,
like they needed him in a lot of ways. Like his 3-point shooting needed, his paint defense needed. Not that the Kings played well in the paint. They actually really stunk inside the paint. Specifically, Sabonis missed so many shots around the rim. I had the stat pulled up on Pivot Fade. My friends over at Pivot Fade. It is absolutely nuts the way that they performed inside the restricted area. It was really, really sad.
Yeah, I was looking back because I remember Sabonis dominating us.
They were 12 of 29 on layups. Yeah, they were 41% on layups. Al,
something happened to Sabonis. It was probably more like what happened to the Thunder, but he has been bad against the Thunder for a minute now, and just always has these inefficient shooting games. And I do blame the coaching in some respects because, I mean, you remember those Mike Brown-led teams. Yeah. He was the hub. Like, everything was running through Sabonis. He was usually at the top of the key. They were running DHOs. They were spamming it. And now, like watching that game last night, it'd be like, oh, hey, there was a DHO. I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Like they were posting them up so much, and it was like, dude, this is not. I don't think this is his game. And if they're taking away like all the things they're doing it, not even the Thunder, they're taking away all the things that made Sabonis such like a dynamic offensive player.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're turning him into a player that's just not as good.
Yeah, they're killing his potential trade value. And
They are.
in the way that they're playing him. I mean, that's just how they all play though, and that is the architect of this team's fault, because they have one role player on the roster, period, and it's Keon Ellis.
Yeah,
and that's it. There's no other role players. Everybody else is I need to score kind of guy, and none of those guys are pick and roll guys. Really, the only one that could potentially be is Russell Westbrook, and the way that they organize their offense to begin the game, Russell sits in the corner.
yeah,
And it worked for 3 shots. I mean,
yeah.
give him credit. But boy, it is such a weird team. Like Doug Christie has no chance this season. Just absolutely no shot. And I don't know what you do if you're the Kings. I think that you probably just ride this out, let these guys expire, and then try to reset. But
Well, it's a bummer because right now, early in the season, they all seem like pretty bought in to what they're doing. Like,
Yeah.
you don't see like you actually see like some team camaraderie, but there are moments where you're looking at the 5 guys on the court and you're like, how are all these guys happy right now? There's no way. They can't all be happy.
it won't last. It won't.
When you that starting lineup, Russ, Dennis Schroeder, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Sabonis. How do you construct an offense where all those guys are satisfied?
It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Like you need, and we talk about like Kaysen being low usage or Dort being low usage, but like you need those guys on your team. Like you need guys that have a very specific role that are going to, play that way, and like there's not going to be any unrest. All of those guys that you mentioned have been like leading scorers on a team, or like the second or third scorer on a team. When you have like 6 of them, there are going to be 3 or 4 of these guys that are going to be like, what is happening? I should be the guy. I should be taking the shots. I should, it is a weird situation. It's a 2K team. Like that is a team made for video games. I bet
I don't even think a person in a video game would think to put these players together. Who would ever want this?
But you know what I mean? Like you can at least like play one-on-one and cook with like a variety of guys.
Yeah.
It's not made for real life. It's way more made for video games than it is real life.
I feel like it's made for a very specific era of Thunder fan that are still nostalgic about certain players.
So nostalgic for the Sabonis era of the Thunder and the Doug McDermott era of the Thunder.
I know. Similarly, not using Sabonis correctly in different ways.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there is a through line there.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I felt bad for them because they started off. Well, not even started off. I agree with you. They played like pretty well throughout the majority of this game.
Yeah.
And then, as we've seen time and time again, this Thunder team. I mean, they did this a lot last year, where these games will be closer than you think they should be, and at the end of the game, they just close it. And
yeah, I mean, they basically just dominated the last 6 minutes.
Yeah,
of the game is what happened. I think it was like a 17-4 run to end the game for them. From the 5:54 mark until the end of the game, it was 17-4 OKC.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Sacramento was up 97-90 with like around 5 minutes left, and the Thunder, who did not have control of the game up until that point at all. And the way that Nick Gallo kept putting it is like, you kept kind of pushing the boulder back up the hill and it would just roll back.
Yeah.
That's how it felt the whole night. Is the Thunder would get they get within 1, or they would get a 1-point lead, and then the Kings would go on like a 10-0 run. And that just felt like it kept happening over and over again. And I asked Shea about it after the game, just like you guys haven't been in a lot of games that look like that. Like what did you guys think about just playing in this game? He was like talking about how much he loved it.
Oh,
He's like,
yeah.
he's basically saying that he wants to see as many different situations as possible, and he wants to see like I can't remember how he put it, but kind of like gross situations on the court, and then like try to figure out a way through it.
Yeah.
It's like what he's wanting, and so he was. I mean, he answered it like really fast. Like, yeah, I loved it. I just loved playing in this game. So I mean, it's good. It's like a really good mindset to have because it could be kind of a frustrating if you're not like looking for ways to grow like that. It can be a pretty frustrating situation where it's like, come on, like this Kings team, we just saw Austin Reeves put 51 on these guys,
Yeah.
and like we can't score with regularity against them. Like, what's the deal? But instead, his mentality is like this was great. I loved playing this. I loved like figuring out, the end of this game, and luckily they did. Luckily they hit threes. You had the Dort three and the Caruso three that went down that were both really big. So, and then Shea, ices the game with his own three. So it was good to get those three shots to go down finally, and see this team actually win the game.
Yeah, I think it really helped that they never really let the game get totally away. Like, I think the biggest lead for the Kings was 10 points, which was 4 minutes left in the third quarter. And that's just what killed the Kings. Like, they could just never, in an opposite way, they just could never get over that own hump of just like breaking through double digits and starting to stretch that game out. Because there were moments where it felt dicey and you were like, man, they like have to get a stop here. And they would, and then it would get back down below 10. And then you just kind of felt like, well, they're eventually going to figure this out.
Yeah.
In terms of individual players, I want to start with Aaron Wiggins, who
Wiggs had such a great game.
Maybe player of the game. He was great. 18, 6 and 6, had 3 blocks, hit 4 of 10 from 3. 10.
Four offensive rebounds.
4 offensive rebounds. And I just thought he flashed everywhere. Like, and it started early. He was incredible in that first quarter. I love that first play of the game. I think it was their first points of the game. He gets the ball at the top of the key. Kaysen is on the right wing, and he signals to him to come set a screen, except he never had any intention of actually waiting for the screen. He did it solely to freeze Russell Westbrook for like a split second, just so that he could get a step on him to the basket. And then he pump fake Russ so bad.
Oh my gosh.
Russ just comes flying in and goes past him, and he gets this lay-in. And I just thought that was like, that was such a creative move. I just haven't seen that a lot. Like the fake calling for a screen, just throwing up your hand to like make the defender think, oh, I can just rest here for a second because they're about to set a screen right here.
Yeah.
And then just blows past them. And then like within a few plays, he had gotten a steal. He had gotten a block. He was just so active from the jump in this game.
Yeah, he's the only guy that could hit a 3 to start the game too. I mean, he really kept them afloat early on in this one. Yeah. What do you think about seeing Russell Westbrook in the number 18 jersey?
Yeah, has he given any reason about why he picked that?
Year 18.
Oh, year 18. Okay.
I mean, I assume. I can't think of any other reason. I saw a fan wearing the 18 jersey in the house.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, his 3-point shot was on last night, but man, I still can't get over how bad of a finisher he is. He still is really fast.
Yeah.
Like he still has maintained a lot of his speed, and he is able to get to the rim. And he just has these layups where it's not like, like when Dort misses a layup, it's usually a bad miss.
Yeah.
Like these are close. Like they're dancing on the rim and they just never go in. I think he was 4 of 8 from 3 and 2 of 8 from inside the arc.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And it was he and Schroeder had many of those too. Obviously Sabonis did as well. I mean, it was a rough night.
Yeah.
Sticking with Aaron Wiggins, the tip dunk from him.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Like close to halftime after Lou Dort clanks a 3. He was just right there for it. He was just on one. Yeah, like Wiggins, like you mentioned, like activity. Like he's just, I don't remember seeing him like this active I mean, is 3 blocks his career high?
It might be. It'd probably be like tied at worst.
Yeah, I just don't remember him getting that many blocks in a game. I mean, it was really fun. Like that was just a really, really fun Aaron Wiggins game.
Even the passing, like he had a really nice assist to iHeart.
Yeah.
Which I think that was right before the putback slam. He led the team in assists. Like he was just flashing all over the court.
Yeah, he was. I do believe it's a career high, unless he did it his rookie season, which I'm now checking. Yeah, career high, 3 blocks last night.
Wow.
He only ever had 2.
Wow.
So shout out to Wiggs.
Yeah, that was a great Wiggs game.
Just an awesome game from him. He continues to get better. He continues to impress, and he doesn't matter what role he has. I mean, he's such a valuable player to have on your team, and especially just looking at the contract and how long they have him and what that number is just, it's unbelievable. He's a great teammate. Everybody loves Wiggins. I love Wiggins. He's just the best.
There's going to be some lineups as we get later in the season, like bench lineups with him and AJ, where they're going to start being able to put stuff together, and you're going to look at the combined salaries for who is on the court, and it's going to be just crazy.
Well, the combined salaries and just like the stories of both of those guys, that they were both two-way players.
Yeah.
That are now both legitimately guys that could play on every single team, could start for some teams in the league. Like if the Bucks started Aaron Wiggins and AJ Mitchell, not that the Bucks have actually played pretty well, but if they started those two guys, I think you'd feel pretty good about where Milwaukee's headed. And like those are 2 bench players for the Thunder.
Oh, the way I feel about those guys now, and then thinking about they theoretically could still be the 8th and 9th men on this team, like because you have Caruso and Kaysen, when
absolutely.
fully healthy coming off the bench.
Yeah,
that's nuts.
Yeah, let's talk about AJ Mitchell, who finished the night with 18 points, 1 assist, 2 steals. He did have 4 turnovers and 5 fouls.
Yeah, I was going to start by saying that I think this was his worst game of the season, which I think says something because...
In 18 points.
Yeah, like I think it was clearly his worst game. Like he had more turnovers in this game than the other 4 combined. He didn't really contribute outside of scoring.
Yeah.
He like picked up 5 fouls, almost fouled out. And yet, like that's still a really productive game, and he was really important at key moments during that game. Like if that was the floor for AJ, that's an incredible player, and that's kind of the worst we've seen from him so far.
Yeah.
I have a great stat about him.
Ooh,
so
hear it.
Second-year Thunder players to average more than AJ in their first 5 games of the season.
Oh no, this is gonna put him so high up. I'm very much looking forward to hearing this list.
So would you have a guess about how many players it is? It's not 0. There are players who have done it.
I don't know, like 4.
So this is second year Thunder players to average more than AJ. He is currently averaging 18.7 points per game through the first 5 games of his sophomore season. The only players who have done it, Chet, which of course, that was kind of like Chet's 3rd season, but that was his 2nd season playing. SGA and KD. That's it. Russ just missed the mark, 18.4. J-Dub was down at 16 points per game.
Yeah.
Like, this production is pretty crazy.
So some of it is clearly situational.
Definitely.
But also not everybody would score like this in this situation. And it's not to dog on anybody. Like Casey Wallace is on this team too, who was a lottery pick.
Yeah.
And is kind of like expected to make this bigger leap. He's not doing that.
Right.
And I'm not saying that like he should be or whatever. I'm just saying it's not happening. Like AJ is a special player. Like he is a really, really good player. And the more you look at his contract, you talked about Wiggins' contract, the fact that they got him on this descending, like less than $9 million contract over the course of 3 years is pretty wild. What they were able to get done. Yeah, I mean, you look at his game log, 16 points first game, 26 against Indy. He had 14 against Atlanta. He had 17 against Dallas and 18 last night. And for the most part, he's been contributing as like a guy generating assists. He didn't do that last night, but he has 19
and not turning the ball over other than last night.
Assists. Yeah. Yeah.
He had
And
3 turnovers on the season coming into the game.
Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, Mark called it a healthy game for AJ last night in that he did not start well. Was not like he had like hit his first 2 shots, I think, but then he just wasn't playing very well. He was turning the ball over. He made some mistakes and he wasn't hitting his shots. And then he was able to kind of like recalibrate, get back out there and play really well. And I asked Lou after the game last night if he had like seen any through lines. Like I was like, you've seen Shea kind of emerge as like this great on-ball creator, and you've seen J-Dub, you know, firsthand become this awesome on-ball creator. I was like, do you see any like through lines like to AJ, like from what you saw from those guys? And he was like, yeah. He said the thing that sticks out to me is just how comfortable he is with the ball in his hands. Like he's not rushed. He's not, you know, there's not any like rattling him when he has the basketball. And I thought a great example of that was down the stretch of the game before he picked up his 5th foul. He got the ball late in the shot clock. There was like 2 seconds left in the shot clock. I think most guys, especially guys that have only played the handful of games that he has, kind of would just like shoot it in like a panic. But like he knew, like he saw, oh, I've got a lane. I'm going to drive and I'm going to score. And he's like scores a layup as like the shot clock is expiring. But the fact that he like felt comfortable enough to do that, I thought was a really big deal for him. And so it just shows like that to me is like a little bit of a microcosm of like his game in total is like he's really comfortable with who he is. He takes his time and he's a true scorer, facilitator, driver. Like he gets to the paint whenever he wants. I mean, it is like it's beyond a luxury. Like, yeah, it's a luxury to have a guy like that off the bench, but like to me, he's going to become like pretty essential to what they do just because he's going to kind of force the Thunder's hand.
Oh yeah. I mean, if they didn't have him, they would have definitely had a couple losses by now, just because he has helped them so much stay afloat offensively. And you know that example you brought up from the Kings game, like it just speaks to that this team is like already willing to give him that, like the players on the court. In fact, I thought in the Dallas game, at the end of that game, it was almost like too much AJ. It was like they're asking too much of him right now. It felt like the ball was in his hands at the end of every single one of those possessions. But you look at his usage across these first 5 games, 39, 26, 21, 26, 34. I mean, he has been heavily involved offensively for this team from the jump. And it just makes sense, like with the other players on the court. They need someone like that so bad and have needed someone like that so bad. I know they won the championship, but like that a player who is able to absorb that type of usage. Like when we talked about, you know, someone like Kaysen maybe making a jump, or even someone like Wiggins trying to make a jump. Like we're talking about being able to absorb more usage on the court.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of players, they just kind of reach a limit. It feels like with him, you can just keep pushing it, and he continues to stay efficient as he gets more and more usage on this team, which that's really exciting because that's a sign that you have like something really special when you can keep giving them more and more responsibilities, more ball handling duties, and they're still kind of the same player that they were when they were playing 10 to 15 minutes a night. That's the part that's really exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, here's that play where he gets that finger roll. It was even less time on the clock. Like if you look at it, like pause it when he like gets the ball, it's like how did he even know that he could get all the way to the hoop once he got the basketball?
Mitchell, someone's gonna have to shoot it here. Mitchell's got it. Got behind the defense, left hand, beats the shot clock and scores just in the nick of time.
I mean, that closed the game to 3. And that was just a really crucial play where it just felt like the Thunder had nothing. Like the Kings had done a really good job defending them. Jay Will was just in a tough spot. He just had to dump it off to AJ. And instead of him like stopping and shooting, which is probably what 90% of players would have done, and it wouldn't have been the wrong thing to do. But the fact that he just saw that like I can get to the hoop and get an easy 2 points was that for whatever reason like really just stuck with me. I just thought that was super impressive.
And it just makes you more excited for what this team is going to look like when they're fully healthy.
Yeah.
Because Mark is going to have, just the amount of options he is going to have when this team is fully healthy. I don't even know how he's going to handle it. Like, I don't know. Is he going to run lineups where AJ is there without any of the big three? Like, I'm sure he will, like, during the regular season. But, like, could AJ sustain a bench unit by himself over a long period of the season? Like, I feel like we just started to see that now that, like, basically Chet and J-Dub are out.
Yeah.
Seeing some of those, like, AJ-only led lineups. I'd be interested in seeing more of that. But once you get J-Dub and Chet back, there's really no reason to. Like, you could always pair them up with one of those big three.
Mm-hmm.
And that just makes those bench units so much more, so strong.
Yeah. Yeah. What lineup are you most excited to see once everybody's back?
The like traditional second unit, but with AJ in place of someone. So like a J-Dub Chet unit.
Yeah.
But then you throw AJ into the mix.
You have like a real on-ball, like primary creator.
Yeah.
Next to, I guess, he could be the secondary. J-Dub could be the secondary, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But,
just having two of those guys on the court, I think will make those bench units so much stronger.
Yeah. I think his defense has been good enough too, to where I wonder, like against a team like Denver or Indiana, where if you closed a game with Shea, Dub, AJ, Dort, or maybe Dort or Caruso, and then Chet, like I think that is a really hard lineup to defend. Especially if Caruso's out there hitting threes like he was in the playoffs, and then you have a legitimate threat from deep in AJ Mitchell. And we'll have to see, like, playoff ready is like a whole other thing than playing Sacramento on a Tuesday. Like, I don't want to get like over my skis with like what he can do like come playoff time, but if he can maintain any semblance of this throughout the season and then into the playoffs, I think that the Thunder are just a much different team. They're a much different team to have to defend, because it was really just that you have these two guys that can really create. Then you have all these other like lower usage guys. You have Chet that can go off sometimes offensively, but like you don't have anybody that's super reliable as a scorer every night. And then you insert this guy that happened to already be on the roster, like into what they're doing. And I just think that it could be like, it could be the thing that kind of pushes the Thunder to, their next title, is just that they are a lot more dynamic than they were.
Yeah, and I think something we saw last night was progress in how they attack the zone. Like, there were a few plays. There's one that stuck out in particular. It did not end in like a shot that you would consider a good shot. It ended in like Lou Dort mid-range shot that he did make. But I just thought their approach was so much better. Like, they were just pinging the ball around, trying to find something. And they were moving the ball so quickly, whereas in the past, I felt like a lot of times when they would face a zone, they would get in these situations where, okay, well, someone's just going to have to go one-on-one.
Just dribble. Yeah.
Yeah, and I felt like they were making passes and trying to find cracks in the zone. And to the Kings' credit, like a lot of those plays defensively, like they were scrambling well and holding up. But I just liked the activity I saw from OKC. Mm-hmm. And I think having someone like AJ on the court makes that a little bit easier too. Mm-hmm. But everyone on this team is, a smart passer, although there were a lot of, especially early in the game, a lot of bad passes. But like in general, there's a lot of really smart passers on this team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, agreed. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk more league-wide stuff and more Thundery things. We'll be right back. And we're back after that quick break. I need to tell you about my friends over at Bob Moore Kia. Shout out to Bob Moore Kia. This is the Kia Carnival that I'm driving around right now. Just a delightful minivan. Always feel safe. Great gas mileage. All the features you would want. Go test drive a Kia today. Go to Bob Moore Kia. It's on Northwest Expressway in between Council and Rockwell. Great dealership. Great people there. Tell them that Down to Dunk sent you. Right now you can go get an EV6, 0% for 72 months during the Kia Fall Savings Event. You can get a K4 for $354 a month lease for 84 months on 10K miles per year, $3,499 due at signing. You can get a Kia Sorento. I really like a Sorento. 0% for 48 months. You can get a Kia Soul, $327 a month lease for 84 months. 10,000 miles per year, $3,499 due at signing. Go check out Bob Moore Kia today and support the people that support Down to Dunk. Al, anything else Thunder-wise before we go league-wide?
Yeah, I got some fun stats for you. So last night, SGA hit 77 consecutive 20-plus point games.
Yep.
And Basketball Reference actually has a page where they just keep all of these stats, which is pretty interesting because you look at the records for most consecutive 40-point games.
Mm-hmm.
It's all Wilt, first place, second place, third place, all Wilt, and all 10-plus games in a row for those three streaks. Then most 30-point games, it is Wilt, James Harden, Wilt. James Harden got 32 in a row back in 2018. And then you go down to 20-plus point games, and if he can do it these next two games, that will tie him third with Oscar Robertson. And then if he can do it at 3 more games, which include the Clippers game, he will be in sole possession of third, and of course the only guy ahead of him would be Wilt and Wilt in the first 2 spots. Wilt had 2 separate streaks, one of 92 games and one of 126 games.
Yeah.
But the way Shea's playing, that 92 isn't out of the realm of possibility. If he can get to 80, he would be in third, and then it'd only be 12 more games to get in second place.
Wow.
With Wilt, Wilt is just anytime you're on a top 3 list and the other 2 names are Wilt, the same guy, that is really impressive.
Yeah,
that sounds like something KD would have done, and yet he is not. He is not here.
Yeah, he's on an absolute tear right now. Shea is, and he's not even playing that well.
Okay, so here's another stat. Over the last 3 games, Shea has attempted 8 free throws total.
Yeah.
The last time Shea attempted 8 or fewer total free throws across 3 consecutive games was March 2020. It was right before the league shut down.
Yeah.
It was literally that game, the game before Utah.
Wow.
And then the other stat I had for you is OKC's 3-point shooting. So they're currently shooting 27.9% through 5 games, which is dead last in the league. The last time they shot that poorly across 5 consecutive games, you have to go all the way back to October 2022.
Wow.
That was the beginning of the season when they went to the play-in, when they were 40 and 42.
Okay.
The start of that season. They had an incredible bad shooting run across 5 games where they shot below 20% in multiple games.
Was the first 5 games or what?
It was not the first 5 games, but it was games 4 through 9 or something. It was right there at the start of the season.
Okay.
Yeah, in 2022.
Wow.
So their shooting has been awful, to be clear. We don't need, and if they were losing these games, we'd probably be talking about it a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's kind of a bigger version of last season when Caruso started off the year just awful shooting the ball. And I just felt they're winning, so I'm not going to worry about it until they start losing. And they continued winning, and even though it came back up in the playoffs in a big way, they were still able to win. Now, I do think not having Isaiah Joe, not having Dub, not having Chet in a game like last night, I do think just bringing some of those guys back is going to at least get you out of dead last in the league.
Yeah. No question.
But we've talked about it. This team is not full of real shooters. They're full of a lot of guys who can shoot, but can
Will
go
sh-
through and
yeah.
will shoot, but will go through these streaky the cold spells where they're just not hitting anything. And that is what is happening right now, but it has not mattered as of yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I pulled up one of these nasty games you were referencing from 2022. Starting lineup in one of these games: Shea, Trey Mann, Wiggins, Dort, Jeremiah Robinson Earl.
Okay.
Dort was 0 of 6. Jeremiah Robinson Earl was 0 of 3. Kenrich off the bench 0 of 2. Darius Baisley off the bench 0 of 2. Poku 0 of 3, and Usman Jang 0 of 3.
Yeah. There was, and they probably won that game.
And they won 108-94.
Yeah. Was that the Clippers game?
It's the Clippers, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a weird Clippers team that started Reggie Jackson, Norman Powell, Terrence Mann, Nick Batum, and Zubats.
Wow.
That's weird. That's weird. That's super weird. But yeah.
One other thing from that game is I don't know if this is true, but it feels like AJ has been learning from Dort on how to pick up screening fouls because he got 2 last night.
Yeah.
And those have to, I mean, every time we see one of those calls made, it is so frustrating to whoever the screener was.
Yeah.
And so that'd be great if he can pick that up from Dort. It seems like it's very annoying when it happens, when it gets called.
Yeah. He talked about how much he's learning last night and how I think it was Michael Martin that mentioned, like, asked him, like, what's next for your game? And he's like, I have to improve everything. Like, there's like nothing that I feel is like even close to a finished product.
Yeah.
So, and like, that's something that you have to say if you're AJ, but it's also like, I really do believe like that's his mentality. And, he obviously had a great summer, and I was kind of asking him a little bit about it yesterday, and he basically took a week off and then worked all summer on his body. And he said that he can really tell how much stronger he is, this season as he's like playing. And some of that probably is like being able to, force an offensive foul on those screens. Like that's not an easy thing to do. You got to be a really strong person to be able to pull that off. And the fact that he's trying those things and like he's giving full effort defensively, which I think is like one of the biggest things, because it's not that difficult in the NBA to find a guy that's a guard that can shoot it, that's a pretty good passer. Like there's a lot of those kinds of guys around the league. Now to have one of those guys that can also defend is like really hard to find.
Yeah, I also think just having someone, all those things you described, and just having his frame, like he has a really good frame. So many of those types of players are like these skinny guards where they can come off the bench and be like spark plugs. But then that there's like no way it's going to be really hard for them to hold up defensively just because of how they're built.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks like he's big. And he looks like he's going to be able to hold up. Like if someone's, as we've seen with guys like Caruso and Kaysen, when they've been put in this position where they're essentially like post defenders in random situations, like he looks like another guy who's going to be able to hold up in those situations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, there's no doubt. Yeah, it's really exciting. And it also just, I talked to McKelly about this a little bit Monday, and not that he won't be playing. Of course he'll be playing, but it just makes things a little bit more complicated for a guy like Topic as he comes back, because AJ has played that well. But you can play them together too. We talked about like combinations of players that you can play together. That's absolutely a duo that you can put out there together. And I'd be curious to see, what that looks like. You mentioned the Thunder are last in 3-point shooting. They're also last in transition frequency in the NBA to start the season, like dead last. And I was asking Mark about that. And some of it is like the games they've played, but like the Blazers, for example, and maybe like playing a team like the Blazers will help this. I mean, they literally have exactly double the amount of like transition frequency than the Thunder. The Thunder also have like the most points per possession in transition at 1.54. So it's like if they could just like get get things going and like play a little faster, I think it would help them quite a bit. But I expect that number to fluctuate to a significant degree. But it's just like something that it's not like a red flag or anything, but it's just something that I'm just kind of putting a pin in. Like, okay, I'm gonna like let's watch and see what happens to that number. And I think getting J-Dub back will help with that tremendously. And then them just like starting to click with like their identity as a team, which is funny. They're 5-0, but I don't feel like they've like played to their true identity, for a majority of these minutes so far. And so that's just something that I'm watching.
Yeah, and I'm looking at their stats from last year on cleaning the glass, and they weren't as big of a transition team as you would think. Like overall, I think they were 9th in terms of frequency, but like off of steals, they were 15th in frequency, and off of live rebounds, they were 23rd in frequency. So they haven't been one of these teams that, like, I'm trying to look at some of these teams that were ahead of them. Well, Indiana was one.
Yeah. Like the teams that I'm looking at that had like the most field goal attempts per game in transition.
Yeah.
Last season, Indy, Detroit, Atlanta,
Toronto.
Raptors, Bulls, Grizzlies.
Yeah.
But the Thunder had like 17 field goal attempts, almost 18 field goal attempts per game in transition. And they have 12 so far, per game, which is bottom of the league. I think that number will go up. Some of it is the Thunder didn't play a lot of close games last year. And whenever you're playing kind of more free and it's like these big margins of victory, like you're going to have a lot more transition baskets. When the game is tight like this, everything slows down to a halt. And they've played basically every game in clutch time so far. And so like that, certainly that is a factor there.
And so after 5 games on cleaning the glass, they are 3rd in defense. Can you guess the 2 teams ahead of them, or have you seen?
I haven't seen.
Of course, it's Miami, which makes some sense, and then Chicago, number 1 defensive team in the league, of course.
Yeah,
of course.
This is why you don't look at offensive and defensive ratings 5 games in.
Except that we picked the Bulls to be the surprise team, so
we did. They are certainly surprising. Certainly surprising so far.
And then OKC is 18th in offense, which that is definitely a number that would be helped by more transition opportunities.
Yeah.
And by not shooting dead last in the league. The fact that it's 18th is kind of impressive.
It really is. It doesn't. It feels a little bit worse than that.
Oh my gosh, dead last in the league. Do you know who has the worst offense right now? A team they just played, the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh yeah, that makes total sense.
Offensive rating of 105.2.
Dude, that team stinks.
They stink so bad. And why are they not starting D'Lo? Like, I'm not saying that D'Lo is some amazing player, but at least when he was on the court, they were able to run an NBA offense.
I mean, kind of sometimes is how I would put that.
Like, I forget where I saw this, but somebody posted on-off numbers just early in the season for D'Lo, and it makes him look like the greatest player ever. But it's just because he's the only ball handler on that team. Yeah, when he's on the court, they've been a plus 15. When he's off the court, they've been a minus 26 through these first couple of games.
Turns out their DM sucks.
He does, but I just didn't understand. Like, they made all this big deal about getting D'Lo. They had even like a video of him talking to Nico. And then
the thing is, like, he is like the worst best player in the league. Like he's not a good NBA player.
That's fine, but he is the best point guard on that team right now.
Well,
and it's not even close. I don't even know who number 2 is. It's not Cooper Flagg.
They don't have another point guard on their team. Jaden Hardy's not a point guard.
Yeah, they are a mess. And they've had injuries, but it's like, yeah, they've had injuries to more big men. Like, you could add more big men to this. Maybe that will solve the offense.
Against the Thunder, I feel like when it was working, it was because they had just like lineups that all they did was put out lineups that made sense.
Yeah,
on the court. That's all they did.
The big lineups were not imposing. They were not scary at all.
They're just slow.
Yeah, it's like
they're just slow and unskilled. Is what
the only time they were scary was when they just looked like a normal basketball team. Or just Yeah, that team is a mess.
Yeah, even Dante Exum, who was mentioned in the chat by TJ. It's like Dante Exum's not a point guard. I mean, he's a wing for them. I mean, these teams that and some of it's not intentional because like they didn't intentionally get Kyrie Irving hurt, and the Rockets didn't intentionally get Fred VanVleet hurt. But like the idea that you could go through a season without guards on your roster is just insane.
Well, and we're seeing it across the league because it's not just them. Like the Spurs are undefeated, but I forget what game I watched of theirs. Oh, it was the Nets game.
Yeah.
And like it is crazy how much better they were with Dylan Harper just because he's again the only point guard on that roster right now.
Yeah.
Like he is so much better than Steph Castle at running an offense.
Harper's good, man.
He's really good. But like that's why like when I see all this talk, Dylan Harper's playing so well, like they got to trade Fox. It's like, no, I think they actually need another player. They need another guard.
Yeah.
Like they need that other guy. They need Fox when he comes back.
Yeah, that's also the thing is that there's not like a limit to the number of like ball handlers you can have on your team.
Yeah.
Like there's not, and that's why like the Topic thing is probably not even going to be a thing. It's like because you need a lot of guys to be able to play with the basketball in their hands and to be able to create something. You need a lot of those guys. Right now, the Thunder could use one or two more guys, which they're going to have once those guys come back from injury. Like that's not a problem. The problem is when you don't have any of them. Like that to me is like the sincere problem. I don't get like saying that having too many ball handlers is a problem. I really don't. I don't think it is. I think it's great, especially with Harper as big as he is, and the fact that he's competing so well defensively so far. It's like it doesn't matter,
and that's why you love the Kings,
and that's why I love the Sacramento Kings. Back to the Kings, guys.
No, I do think that the Spurs thing has been overshadowed because they've looked really good, but the 4 teams that they've played are a combined 2-13 right now.
Yeah, they stink.
Like they've had the most cake schedule to start the season. They have an awesome matchup tomorrow night against the Miami Heat. That is their first real test of the season, and I think that's going to be a really interesting game to just kind of like figure out, okay, where are the Spurs actually? Because like they could have lost that Nets game. They looked bad for large stretches of that game.
Yeah, they did.
So let's see what they actually look like against a good team. But yeah, looking at some of these other teams like the Timberwolves, even with Ant, don't really have a point guard.
No.
The fact that early in the season, Bones Highland is getting the minutes and Dillingham was getting DMP CDs.
It's bad.
I mean, now he's playing because Ant's out, but
yeah,
that seems all bad. We've talked about the
Bones
Rockets.
Is not good. Bones is not good.
I know Bones is not. That's why I was so surprised to see him, especially over Dillingham.
Like he's pretty well with those jerseys in that court, though.
Yeah,
with the way his hair is. I mean, I'm sure many other millennial dads thought the same thing. watching that game.
And I guess we have to throw the Magic in this bucket too, because it's like clear, like, yeah, they could still really use a guard. Oh my gosh,
a real one.
Desmond Bane did not solve any of their issues from last year.
Yeah,
I'm so confused by the Magic right now.
Yeah,
but yeah, the just lack of guards across the league. If you have a point guard, just hug them tight. And hold on to them for dear life.
Go home and hug your point guards, everybody.
Yeah, please do it.
Okay, the Thunder play tomorrow night against the Wizards. Then they got 2 nights off at home. So listen, Shea can have a fun Halloween night with his family.
Nice.
So as can Kenrich Williams. So shout out to Halloween. In OKC.
Shout out to Halloween.
Okay. That game is Thursday. Then they play the Pelicans here in OKC Sunday afternoon, 2:30 tip. Kind of a fun little game there. We will be back Friday to talk about the Wizards game. We are talking about the Houston Rockets on Slam and Jam on Saturday. So if you're into that should be fun. So tune in for that. Hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and we'll talk to you guys again on Friday. Oh, Zach Vobernick says, come to Frontier City this weekend. Shout out to Zach. Go to Frontier City. It's a great weekend to be at Frontier City. All right. We'll talk to you guys again on Friday.
Until to dunk. Until to dunk.
What?